Hello, my fellow Nerf warriors, and I am Alpha Trooper 12, and today we're going to be doing a video review of the Nerf Rival Finisher. This is a Rival Blaster that is top prime, magazine fed, and technically in a pistol class. Let's go ahead and get to the review, starting at the front. Obviously, there is no end strike barrel, like this is a Rival Blaster. If you tried to shoot a ball through the end strike barrel, you would have a jam and it wouldn't be fun. One thing to point out though is when you prime this blaster, the front pops out, and when you push it back, it goes forward. So it's funny that it does that. I don't know what it's for, but it just does that for some reason. Going to the top, we have a single Rival style Picatinny rail. This does work with end strike barrel attachments, but they don't slide around. You kind of just lock them in place and they just stay there. We have a sling mount up here. This isn't an iron sight. This is just a place for your sling. And going to the back, we have the priming handle. We'll prime this blaster and pull back, push forward. The prime weight is quite heavy because this is a Rival Blaster. Rival Blasters are typically meant for ages 14 plus. I'm 13, but I use Rival Blasters since I do modify Nerf guns. I am used to priming heavier blasters. Going down to the bottom, we have, on the left-hand side, we have a trigger safety. Down is safe, which means you can't pull the trigger, and up is you're ready to fire. Trigger safeties are on most Rival Blasters because these blasters do shoot a little bit harder. They're not really useful. No one really uses them, but they're there and you can use it if you want. In front of the safety, we have an unjamming button. After you prime this blaster, you're not able to prime it again, but you can push this down and pull it back to override that lock, and then push it forward to clear a jam. Now, one thing to point out is after you use that unjamming button, the slide doesn't go all the way forward. So you do have to shake the priming handle a little bit, but it's really not that big of a deal. Going down to the trigger. The trigger pull feels a little bit weird since it's clicky. This blaster does not have slam fire. Going down to the grip. The grip is big, chunky, meant for like an older Nerfer. I have kind of small hands, even though I am 13, but this grip's perfectly fine for me. I can prime the blaster and use it perfectly fine. Going to right here, we have also a sling mount. This kind of reminds me a bit of the Knockout, how it had a sling there, and then it can correspond with the front one. I probably won't be slinging this one since it's a pistol. And right here, we have the magazine well. This works with the included 7-round magazine, and then put it in. Make sure this big piece of chunky plastic where that arrow is winds up at the front, and then put it in. The magazine release, you can strike with your thumb and pull out at the same time, or use your finger to pull and push in and pull out. This magazine included holds 7 Nerf Rival rounds. The Nerf Rival rounds are different than Elite darts. That's why the magazines look a little bit different. They hold these foam balls. If you know what a Rival gun is, you definitely know what a Nerf Rival ball is. And then the magazine holds 7 of your Nerf Rival rounds. Now, the main gimmick of this magazine is, if you noticed, it's not clear, it's orange, and it's not the same with the Nerf Rival mag. But if you see, there's a nub right here, and when you pull down that nub, you have access to the quick load mag. This is the main feature of this blaster. So I'm gonna go ahead and whoa, all my rounds are falling out. I'm sorry. So we'll put in 2 rounds, and as you can see, we're low on ammo. So if you pull down this nub, I can now. We'll do this with the magazine in, so that way it's more like you can understand it. So as you can see, there's still an open hole, and you can push in your rounds. To me, this is more of a gimmick rather than actual function, and I will not be using this, and I probably won't be using this magazine. Also, one thing to point out with this magazine is this magazine does not work with other Rival blasters, but the blaster does work with other Rival mags, but this magazine does not work with any other Rival blaster that's magazine fed due to this piece of nub and all this. This interferes with the mag, so it does go in, but it only goes in like that far, so it won't feed and it just will jam your blaster. But this blaster does work with other Rival mags. Let's go ahead and get to the firing test. Firing included the included 7 rounds. I'm going to shoot 3 a little bit slow and then 4 hard. This blaster is very loud because it's a Rival blaster. All right, now shooting the rest of the 4 rounds a little bit faster. And we got a jam. And we're out of ammo. Now to my overall opinion of this blaster. It's mixed, for sure. It's definitely a mixed opinion. When this blaster works, just like XX-700 said, it works. It feeds fine, it works. It's pretty okay. This blaster jams quite often with this magazine. I'm not sure if I have a lemon, but Coops also jammed a lot, so it's pretty okay. If you want a Chronos, just use your Chronos, don't use this. But if you really like, I definitely like this blaster. I recommend it, but you're just know that you're gonna have a few jams along the way. I just really like that you can take this nub, put the magazine in, and then if you need a load, you just push it in and then push up, and it's lovely. One thing to note though is this unjamming button really sucks. It's not very useful because when I have a jam and when I use this unjamming button, when I try to push it forward, it locks right here, so I have to wheel it around, and then it'll finally work, and then it's kind of annoying. Other than the jams though, this blaster's fun to use. It's definitely cool because it's a pistol, but it's magazine fed. It's a lot like a Chronos, but it's just magazine fed, and it holds 7 rounds with the included magazine instead of 5. And you can also put a 12-round Zeus mag in here, and then have that hold 12 rounds, so it's way bigger, but it's still a pistol that holds 7 rounds. I would put this in an SMG class because it's magazine fed, but it is spring powered, but it's like the size of an SMG. It's not big like a Nemesis or a Chaos, sorry. So I do recommend this blaster, but just know that you're gonna have a few jams along the way. Other than that, it's a fun blaster to use. I definitely like it, and I pretty much recommend it. But thanks so much for watching, and as always, peace out.